Welcome to The Downside. My name is Gianmarco Soresi. I am here in Toronto at Toronto Podcast Studios. Yeah, great. I'm here. Russell's home in New York. We'll get him to Toronto someday. But I'm here with my opener, former Downside guest, Ty Colgate.
I'm off the bench. Put me in.
Thank you for coming.
Of course. Thank you.
We're joined by an incredible comedian, performer, entertainer, Laura Ramoso.
Oh, hello.
How are you?
Ciao, I'm very good.
Oh, Laura, we'll get to you in a second. So I don't know how much you use your very impressive following to get free shit, but I'm trying. And I wanted to go to a CrossFit gym. I have a little workout for my trainer. Some CrossFit gyms, you have to take a class, and I just want the space. I just want the facilities. And so I wrote them, and this guy was like, "Yeah, come in. We'll." And I say in the thing, I'm happy to make a story post just to share. He was fine. Take a picture of me working out. Picture of the gym. Thanks. I'll find something funny to do. And he writes back, we'll make a video, and we can do a collab on a reel. And I'm like, I know it's a bad idea. And I'm looking for other studios this entire time. I cannot find one that's open or will give me a confirmation. And I get stuck. I just go, I'll do it. Whatever. He'll do an interview. And I said many times, he kept saying we'll collab. And I said, story share. One story share.
A note.
You immediately realize why we do need agents or managers at the end of the day. So I go there, and the guy's not there. So for a second, I think, maybe I don't have to do any of this. No. 30 minutes into my workout, he comes. And he's very sweet. He's very nice. He wants to do a full, basically a podcast of sorts while I am doing my workout from the trainer. And it is I don't have in me, and I got to develop it because I'm 36 now, and it is insane. I don't have the thing that goes, hey, I think this is a little bit much, and we had said this. I just go with it. And he is in the middle of hard things. He's asking me questions, and not just, first of all, questions that I cannot be funny in the answer to, because it's nothing. And my mind's in other places. But the one I remember, as I'm doing the hardest lunges I have ever done in my life with weights on my back, he goes, so if you could replace one piece of workout equipment with a joke, what would that joke be and why? And I'm like, not even Emo Phillips would understand what to do with this premise that you have offered to me.
So layered.
And this is while I'm doing the individual squats, and he's taking his camera and in my face going, swoop, 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 swoop. And this is for, 45 minutes of my workout. And I didn't say, please stop at any point. I didn't say a thing. And I go, it hasn't been made yet. I'm sure he's editing it with a full team now.
Yeah, I'm on it, actually.
And I'm wearing a sound. He gave me a sound thing. And I was like, what happened here? What?
He mic'd you?
He mic'd
During
me.
the workout?
He mic'd
You're
me.
You're flipping tires with a lava on?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
And it really, it's humiliating that I can't advocate for myself in that moment, or the uncomfortability that I have. Are you good at that kind of stuff?
I'm trying to get better. I'm really trying. But no, I'm typically very okay, yeah, sure. That's my vibe typically. Yeah. One time I was just starting out in not really my social media had been doing pretty well for a little bit, and then one day, and I did some brand deals, and one day a random knock, someone knocks on my apartment door, and I wasn't expecting anybody, and so I open it, and it's this woman with I don't know what it is yet, but it's a package. And I think I'm not expecting anything. I didn't order anything. This is unexpected. And I'm immediately, obviously, scared. But I'm
Rightfully
like,
so.
sure, I'll take the package. It has my name on it. Like, thank you, kind lady. And she says, this is from a student at the art school here. And I'm like, okay. This is really nice. I open it, and it is a fine art painting of my character, German mom, like a serious, like like, you know, those old timey portraits, holding a bag of branded potato chip that I'd done an ad for, and it only came out later that this brand had commissioned the student to send me this painting, but nobody had told me what it is.
Sure.
I had opened it and I was like, I'm getting murdered, like, for real. I've accepted this gift, and
Who would want to
coming.
murder you? Would it be an Italian or a German?
An Italian.
And just because, like, don't make fun of us like this.
Yeah, like, you are half German, so you don't really get to.
Oh.
No, I mean, yeah.
Who's more sensitive, Germans or Italians?
Italians, for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
In a fight way, the physical, the confrontational?
Yeah,
a
like,
yelly?
Yeah, very, very outwardly. Germans just seethe.
Quietly seething.
Quietly seething, yeah.
Now, can you imagine if you were to, let's say you got a free yoga class out of your following, and you got there and they said, oh, could you do the yoga class as your German mom?
Well, that's inappropriate because, like, yoga, it's about, like, you and being peaceful. But CrossFit, I think, is more appropriate because you're supposed to be doing multiple things at once.
If you were going to make a video, German mom doing what is it Pilates, yoga?
It's fully aqua gym.
Aqua gym.
Yeah, for sure.
Whoa.
Yeah. Bouncing up and down in just a shallow water.
I
with
went to one of
20
those
other
once.
women.
It was like a spin class, and it was like on Class Pass, and I was like, oh, this would be cool.
Spin class in water?
In water, yeah. But when I got there, it was very clear, like, this is for people who lost the ability to walk for 10 years and are starting back out again. This was not, which is great. This is a great class to have.
It's great.
But I thought I was going to a spin class, and I was going to learn how to walk
This is
again.
rehabilitation.
This is The Downside.
You're listening to The Downside
The Downside.
with Gianmarco Soresi.
Welcome. This is The Downside. Guys, this is a place where we complain, we get negative. We don't need to pretend that the traffic in Toronto isn't some of the worst shit I've ever dealt with in my entire life, that I'm looking at the Uber and it says, you're going to be there in 20 minutes. No, 5 minutes. No, 38 minutes. This city has great food.
Yeah.
And I don't purport to know a lot about the city. We were going to come here a day early, but we ended up adding shows, which is nice. I shouldn't complain, but I didn't do a goddamn thing in this city.
Yeah, I think I've eaten, like, at 2 places.
What are they?
It was, I think, Caroline's Kitchen, or just breakfast places. Like,
Yeah.
I've, like, tried nothing here.
Right.
Because it's just shows.
Just
We had 3
shows?
shows yesterday.
I've been door dashing sashimi every goddamn day. I don't know if the mercury poisoning thing is still do you remember when there was like a thing?
Yeah.
That stopped, right?
I think so.
Because
I
I'm
don't-
eating a lot.
Too much sashimi.
Too much sashimi?
Yeah.
So if you're a fan of the show, join the Patreon, patreon.com/downside. Now, Laura, I met you at JFL New Face. Is that where we met? Or did we even meet? I just wrote you. I said, good job.
Yes, you did.
And you said, thank you. I needed that. It's been a tough. No, you were on the JFL with my friend Chris Cafaro.
Yes.
Where there was, speaking of not speaking up, there were some tech issues on that show.
Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
So again, for people who don't know, this is before JFL disappeared, and they might be coming back. So I'm going to be nicer than I would be.
Yeah.
There were the characters, New Face's characters, big deal.
Yeah.
It's a big deal for it can be an opportunity. Occasionally, where did that SNL cast member come from? New Faces. It's a pipeline. And it's really brutal what they have to do. They have to make this 5-minute mini character set. It's very challenging to make a character set, period, a 5-minute character set that's going to be part of 10. And there's tech. There's tech. And what happened the day of? Do you mind?
I don't mind. I would be honored. Well, they tell you to send in a tech sheet and everything beforehand. Like they ask you all in a specific format. Like it's so specific the way they want you to write the cues. And you're like, okay, this means that there's somebody up there who like knows.
Someone cares.
Knows how to read the cue sheet,
Right.
will press a button.
And was that partly because the union stuff is very... I had heard that like they had to use like a union person as opposed to their person.
I'm sure that's part of it because I'm sure that theater is union, and therefore they would have had to have a union tech on the board who is famously union techs, famously not comedy techs, famously
Yes.
theater techs.
Yes.
Like very straight, serious people who... like a comedy tech is a very specific kind of job. And I
What's the difference? How would you describe the difference?
would describe the difference as like having comedic timing to cut out, like black out on the right moments,
Sure.
or like writing a laugh. But theater techs, and bless them, and I respect them fully, follow pretty much a script. And if you say I love wine instead of I like wine, they're like, that's not the cue, and I
Sure.
will not be pressing the button right now. But no, I think we I don't know what exactly happened, but we got into the space and we had all day for tech. And essentially, I think each person took, I want to say between like 45 minutes to an hour to like run and program maybe 2 to 3 cues in each person's thing. And so by the time the show started like an hour and a half late.
And I have to emphasize that like you can't start late at this because the whole deal is that the industry, this is a very rare moment where all the industry is coming to the show, and they have another show, if not 3 more, that night to get to, that either their clients are in, or it's someone who's pulling in $10 million that they want to sign. So this thing is coveted, and some people audition 8 years for this goddamn thing, and it's just a rare moment. So to start late means that I only saw you and 2 other people because you luckily were in the beginning.
Yeah, it was very lucky, especially because by the time we started an hour and a half late, but 2 people didn't even run their techs before the show.
And that was my friend.
And that was your friend. That was your friend. I remember, and they had some of the most tech-heavy, relatively, needs than the rest of the people. And I felt it was just so unfortunate because you work so hard and you get there and you think, it's going to be like somewhat smooth, tight, something that's been going on for many years. Like
Yeah. It's only the biggest brand in comedy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you'd assume that.
And it's characters. It's not stand-up. You've got people doing like things, tech things.
Yeah,
that's the whole point.
And
Yeah.
and I think I don't think I'm speaking out of turn, but they went to my friend and they said, "Hey, we can't." And he's been there since 10.
Yes.
Oh, since
Yeah.
10 in the morning.
Yes.
And the show was supposed to be at 7. It's going to be at 8:30 now.
my God,
and so they said to my friend, they
no.
said, "Hey, we're not going to be able to run tech." And I mean, and I think they tried to make it right, but like it's hard to emphasize. It's in showbiz. Sometimes it's just that moment, and you can't just go, we'll send him a tape later.
Oh no.
But yours, were there any tech issues? And by the way, it's not like the people who got in the tech, it was smooth sailing. It was fucking insane. And I knew from the back of the room how bad this had gone, clearly.
Yeah, I mean, there was this thing kept happening where people will do like multiple characters and they'll do a blackout and transition music in between characters to palate cleanse and then to get ready for the next one. But what happened a lot was they would black out and play transition music and then bring the lights up immediately, like maybe 2 seconds later, and the person is still putting on a jacket and a wig. And it's like, to put on a wig in front of a crowd is probably the most embarrassing thing that you could possibly do.
Yeah.
I think, like, to be putting on half a shoe and your butt's in the air and everyone's like, this, I'm not supposed to be seeing this, but you are. And all you can do is just power through it.
I have a question though.
Yeah.
So, cause like I'm coming from like a stand-up background. What do you do? So you have tech problems as a character. Are you doing like German mom riffs to like make up for the tech problems? Are you?
I think you have to do something. I think you have to make people feel comfortable and like you're not uncomfortable. You know, you can't just sit in that moment without and just power through it. I think you have to say something, make a joke, or
As a character or as yourself trying to get into the character?
Either. Truly, whatever comes. But no, luckily I only had 2 cues, and yes, one of them got messed up, but it was not like that. It wasn't a big deal.
The sound was bad too, though, right?
Yeah. The mics were like,
I mean,
Better question, what went right?
I mean, truly, but you did great.
well, thank you. No, I ended up having a pretty okay time, and all the people I met were fantastic. All the comedians on the show.
All the comedians specifically. So for those of you who don't know Laura, I don't know how, but you Italian father,
Yes.
German mom,
Yeah.
born in Italy.
Yeah.
Where in Italy?
Lignago, which is a town near Verona.
Verona. Now, I'm a fake Italian,
I know.
and I think there's so much about my dad that I'm like, I've never done the DNA test because if I'm under 5%, I don't want to know.
Scary.
If I was, what percentage do I have to be that you go, oh no, you're Italian?
Like 60.
60?
60, yeah.
What the fuck?
What?
Aren't you 50?
Me? Well, yeah, but like I don't
Yeah.
purport to be fully Italian. I always say I'm
Not
half
fully
Italian.
Italian. But you would say I'm Italian?
Half Italian.
Half Italian.
Yeah.
If you're worried about being 5%, you committed your whole name to it.
Yeah, you
I
have
Gianmarco
a more
Soresi.
Italian name than me, than most people in Italy.
I know. I met a Gianmarco last night at the show.
I might be more Italian than you.
I'm
You're worried
very-
about 5%?
Very well. Very well be. But my dad, so there's things about my father that I'm always just like, well, is it just mental illness or is it Italian?
Both.
Like,
Could be
you know,
both.
he talks with his hands certainly, but a lot of people talk with their hands. Jews talk with their hands. Is there, you know how the matzah pizza, Italian Jewish, is there an Italian German? Is there a word? Is there a thing? I would think you would know.
If there's a word,
Like if some people go matzah pizza, a pizza potato. I don't know what they do for Italian Irish, but people like have like a thing. You've never heard of this?
no.
Maybe
There's
Americans we just like a little nickname.
Yeah,
You just make it easier for yourself.
Will be what's the German food?
Schnitzel.
Bratwurst.
Yeah.
Schnitzel.
Bratwurst.
Schnitzel.
Bratwurst. Yeah.
Blutwurst?
Yes.
So
Schnitzel?
Schnitzel linguini.
Yeah.
There we did it. We got to catch you one right there.
Linguini sounds good too. It's just a dish.
Muesli deli.
What?
Cut it. Cut the pod. We're ending.
Cut the whole pot. Do you feel how long were you in Italy? Because I know you traveled a lot as a kid.
Yeah. I was born, and then 6 months later, because of my mother's work, we moved to Cameroon in West Africa for 6
Oh my
years.
God.
And then we kept traveling Azerbaijan, China, Vietnam, and then I graduated from high school. But we went home to Italy during the summers and Christmas, but the rest of the year we were living abroad.
So growing up, are you speaking Italian and German?
Yeah, and French.
They just mix that in?
Yes, because my parents didn't know each other's languages when they met, and they both knew French. And so they first communicated in French, and then in Cameroon,
That's adorable.
we spoke in French. Yeah. Then my mom ended up learning Italian because she works hard, and my father never learned German.
Well, German's a nightmare.
Yes, I know.
It is.
Yes.
It actually is harder.
It's German's harder.
Yes.
Yes, Italian has a lot of rules that are also very hard to learn.
Right. I gave like 2 years to German. I quit.
You quit?
I quit.
What's your? Give me something.
God, I know the basics, which
Yeah.
now it's like a wie geht's.
Yeah.
Like just a ich liebe dich.
Yeah.
and, like,
Yeah. Oh, danke.
yeah.
What was that? Wait, ple's don't leave me out. I did
All
not
I
take
said
2 years
was,
of German.
how are you? And
And-
then that was I love you.
Yeah, he told me he loved me.
Oh,
'Cause
my
it's
God.
been-
Why do you need to learn that one? That was in the basics class.
Well, you know.
But that was before.
I was
Where's the
hoping to get some
bathroom?
digits in
My
Berlin, you know?
my flight's leaving.
Yeah, Berlin's a different place.
Do you know if your parents, did your mom ever say to your dad, like, hey, come on, learn some German, please?
Yeah, of course.
How far did he get?
Scheiße.
Well, I mean, that's great.
He didn't even get to the I love you? What the hell?
Yeah.
Or were they married by the time he was learning German?
He never started to learn German.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I was about to say if he was already married, it made sense why the Scheisse was before the ich liebe dich.
I see. Yes,
Yeah.
of course. Yes.
I only speak the language we're talking right now.
English.
Yes. And I'll never learn another language.
Fair
I
enough.
never will. I don't have the brain for it. I've tried.
Have you?
I have.
Which
I mean,
one?
first of all, in American schools, it basically was like Spanish or French.
Right.
That's kind of the options you're given at most schools. I did French,
Mm-hmm.
and I think my vocabulary retention was really bad.
Mm.
I think that's just like a weakness I have in my brain. And looking back on it, I'm pretty sure that I came back from every summer feeling like I was behind all of a sudden. And I think it's because I forgot a lot of vocabulary. So then classes got harder and harder to the point of where I was a good student in general, but I almost failed out of French because that's when they started teaching in French. And I was just lost,
Yes.
completely lost. When did you learn English?
When I started elementary school in grade 1.
Oof, tough.
I just feel like if they had done it when I was a baby, it would have just happened.
So much easier. Yeah, I don't even remember learning anything. It just happened to me.
It's immersion.
It's
you're like
fully
you're in it.
immersive,
Yeah.
Yes.
But how did German happen if your mom wasn't speaking it to your dad? You just heard her on the phone and picked it up?
No, she was speaking it to me, and then my dad was speaking in Italian to me, and then together we all spoke in French.
When you guys go out to dinner,
Mm-hmm.
I know that I'm sure for multilingual people, you're like, these are the dumbest fucking questions in the world. When you go out to dinner,
Mm-hmm.
where do you start? What language do you start?
We typically start in Italian for my dad. Typically,
God, he's really kind of
monopolizing.
lagging on this side of things. Will you ever say something to your mom in German behind your dad's back?
100%.
And is your dad go, I don't even know. I don't know.
He doesn't. He can't even hear.
That's fun.
Yeah. That's
That would
great.
be fun.
You guys can have like little secrets
Yes.
amongst yourselves.
Oh, we do, and we do.
Does French ever come up?
Yeah, French comes up.
What would you be talking about something and like would the conversation take a turn and it got a little romantic and you go, let's
With my parents.
You're romantic, not like, hey, the three of us, we get along. Like,
Hey, Mom and Dad, I really like your vibe.
I mean, like, oh, this guy is beautiful, and you're let's switch. When would you switch to French with your parents?
Did you just say this guy's beautiful, but said it in English with a French accent?
Well, I couldn't say it. I couldn't say it in French with an English accent.
right,
That's
you're
all
right.
I got.
Yeah, you'll be like, I'll say like, mi puoi passare le poivre, s'il vous plaît? Like, please pass me in Italian, and then the pepper we say in French or something. Whatever, somehow like whatever comes out. Yeah.
Do they speak English?
My parents?
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom speaks like.
I know your
fluent
mom
English.
speaks it all.
I know she speaks Polish.
Crazy.
I know. She went to medical school in Poland. She speaks English. My dad also speaks English. It's less fluent, less good, but we'll never speak English altogether. But me and my mom will speak English. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So let's dive into your parents or talk to me about, because I know a little bit about Italian, the fake version, but German. The way that like the things that like you, as you portray your mom, because I don't think I know that many people from Germany. I know like one actor friend I have, and it seems like she's extremely studious or focused, ambitious. Not a lot of room for complaining or being lazy. Is that German wide or is that your mom?
I mean, it's definitely my mom. I do sense it is. I think there's something in the culture of that where it's kind of no bullshit, just straightforwardness. Like, we don't really, why would you spend time kind of tiptoeing or lying when you can just say the truth and it's not criticism, it's just a fact. But my mom, I think also especially so, just because of who she is as a person and what her life has been.
How in Germany are they doing therapy, or is it like a little bit like therapy? What is this?
Yeah, why stress? Stress is not real.
Is that how they? Is it less like emotionally fragile, or than America or Canada?
Publicly, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. Like here, I feel, especially in Canada, I feel we are all very publicly like, oh, I'm sorry, like that sort of energy, definitely. And there, it's more like, okay, you stepped on my toe, so apologize. But privately, no. I mean, privately, obviously, everybody is like
A mess, of course.
a three-dimensional person.
Was there some article recently? I always read these articles about international things. And I go, oh God, I don't even want to know anymore. And it just said something. It said far right party rises in Germany.
The AFD, right?
Was
AFD,
it that?
isn't it?
I mean, I don't know. I read about in Italy too.
Italy
Both your
is-
places.
Oh, Italy, it's like, you're like, oh, female prime minister. And then you're like, oh,
Oh,
okay.
But okay, I did a show in Italy, and
Where?
it's one of the only. Honestly, they said this is the only place worth going right now. Audience wise, it was. Oh my
Milan?
God,
Milan?
Where did Milan,
Yeah.
Milano,
Yeah.
as I like to say, and it was. That was I did my first little Europe tour, and that was the one that felt the most foreign in terms of like, references and just audience behavior. Anything that was like the best punchline would get an applause.
Big claps.
And it would sometimes for stand up it would fuck up the rhythm of the joke.
Oh, yeah.
And then they bring up for the applause they do this thing where they bring up the lights a little. Like, again, this is one of those things I'm like, was it just this tech? Maybe it was the same tech JFL used. But like they would like bring up the light a little as if to be like, we're all here together. And then they bring it back down. And sometimes it'd be in like the middle of a chunk. And you'd be like,
that's so weird.
okay, back to the bit. We've lost the momentum.
Yeah, I don't know about this light thing. That might be very specific to your
Really?
situation. I've never heard of this light. I don't know. That's really funny. But the clapping is very real. Yeah, it's like big punchline, big joke, clap, 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 clap. And then, yeah, for sketch too, like the rhythm is all, you have to catch up.
I found people said the German shows, they're going to be tough. And I certainly made jokes about it, but they were good.
No.
And where is that stereotype true at all? What I was heard is like, listen, you're going to feel like you're bombing in Germany, but that's actually what killing in Germany sounds like. That it's polite or that it's whatever. And again, like, I don't know. I'm trying to learn what's true in my travels, in my 2 days I spend everywhere I go. Do Germans have less of a sense of humor, a more quiet, more reserved?
I think it's definitely more sarcastic.
Uh-huh.
Yes. And no, I don't think they have less of a sense of humor. I think it's just different. I also found that the shows I did in Germany were very hot and really, really warm. And they were ready to receive.
What about your mom? Does she have? Because the character is obviously very funny. But does your mom have that biting sense of humor? Is she undercutting you with a line that is kind of funny the way she's doing it?
100%. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Some of those lines are verbatim. Some of them I don't even write.
How does she feel about the portrayal? Does she get what makes it funny, or does she go, what are you just documented life? Why is everyone so excited?
No, she gets it. And she really likes the videos. And she'll be like, sometimes we'll be around or doing life. We'll be
living her
living.
Sure.
And
See, this is
she'll
what
say
happens,
something.
too many languages.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's
I really can't even say anything. And she'll say something, and then she'll be like, "Oh, don't put that in a video." And then but the thing is, it's never the stuff that she thinks I'm going to write down. That is the stuff that I'm going to write down. It's always the stuff that is like just who she is as a person, and she doesn't even realize. That I write down. So I find that really funny. And no, she loves them and she shares them, and she understands too that like now German Mom has departed the character into like its own 2-dimensional person.
Sure.
And obviously I don't show every single side of who my mom is, obviously.
How do you have to go shopping for German Mom? Like, how many outfits do you have?
I have one.
You just have one?
I just have one. The turtleneck, the glasses.
We did the walking video recently. Was that your jacket?
Oh, yeah. No, that was my mother's actual jacket.
Wow. Ooh. Dedication to the bit. I had to my
right.
research. Okay, so obviously there's the character of it. Was there any time growing up where those either German attributes or your mom's attributes were like, oh, Jesus Christ, could I get a fucking break here?
I think now we go into like parents versus German. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, I do feel like my parents were very, I had a strict upbringing, and they expected a lot of me, but I think that was because they were, the way that they showed love was wanting to see me do well and pushing me in things, which I'm so grateful for. But I do feel like that is like who they are as people, because there are also parents who are German or Italian who are not that way.
Sure.
Yeah.
Were they cool that you wanted to be a performer?
They let me go to theater school, which I think was big. But they wanted me to have a backup. So then I did a master's in business at their, they said you just have to keep going.
Where'd you get
school.
that undergrad degree?
University of Victoria in British Columbia. That's when I moved to Canada.
Okay.
Yes. And then I came to Toronto because comedy was in Toronto. And I said, I'm going to move to Toronto to do comedy. And then they said, great, but we want you to get a master's degree. So then...
wow. How many people go from theater school to getting a master's degree in business?
It was this like, I did this there was 1 year of normal MBA, and then the second year was specialized. And this school, York University, had an entertainment management specialization. So I did that. I mean, it wasn't theater. It was like broadcast management or, like legacy media stuff. But no, I will say it was very tough. And I was kind of like student by day, then improv club by night. And I was not social at school at all because all I wanted to do was comedy. But
so when you graduated, how many years is the program in Victoria, BC?
4.
4. Okay. It's too long.
For theater?
Musical theater degree. I feel strongly about it. I feel like looking back, no one could have talked me out of it. That's for damn sure.
Same.
I think you either break down the whole goddamn fucking system and like move to an art city and like just like use the time and all that money you would have spent to just like get into the weeds and learn and figure it out and have a crazy acting teacher and have a crazy comedy class, or at the most a 2-year program that sets you up. But instead they give you a 4-year program that doesn't set you up. And I went to a small one, so there was not a lot of community after the fact. You go to NYU, you go to Northwestern, something with it. How big was your conservatory?
Like 30 people.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's still small. I mean, but 4 years, not all those teachers have 4 years of juice to give.
Yeah.
They hit year 3 and you go, I think I learned
teachers...
tremoring for voice and speech classes. I don't think did you ever do that tremoring? That was
I didn't do tremoring.
all the rage in voice and speech. And again, it's just some teacher said it was you would, and you're paying thousands of dollars.
Tens of thousands.
And you're lying on the floor and you're just taking like various positions, like kind of like this, and you're all doing it. And you get to the point where like you're shaking.
Right.
And if it looks familiar, if that looks like at a church when people start speaking in tongues, you're correct. It's the same thing. It's It's just like you get yourself to a weird physical state. It's sexual, absolutely. And then you go, wow, my voice feels freer today. And you get absolutely no skills to take with you into the real world. And you spend all your money on that. And it's garbage. It's pseudoscientific garbage. And I, for some reason, stayed at the school that taught me that while believing it was bullshit. And that's no good.
That's a semester? That whole...
No, that's a course every goddamn year until, at least for me, we had voice 101, voice 201, voice 301.
Oh, no.
We needed voice 2 days. And then...
Do you feel like, because when I watch your comedy and I something that makes you so unique and special is your theatricality, and aside from just the like theater kid material that you have,
Sure.
like just the way that you perform. I mean, do you feel like you would be in this position had you not gone to theater school?
It's hard to know. There's part of me that goes, well, comedy, I would have found my way into comedy one way or another. And I think I go... I think I just followed the system so much. I think that's why I have such resentment towards it, where it was just like, well, you either did theater or sports, and theater was very specific to like musical theater. And I do think I ultimately would have come out on this. I look at the things that I don't like because of my temperament. Like I thought I liked musical theater, and then I would do the same play for an entire month, and I was like, I'm going fucking nuts. I'm so bored. And I think I would have done plays and gone, I have thoughts I want to share. So I don't know, and I'm sure those skills helped, but there was just so much struggling to fit into something that didn't fully fit me for so long. I dreamed when I was an actor, I was going to be Daniel Day-Lewis, like that level of seriousness, which is crazy because I don't want to be serious that often. When you studied theater, did you dream of being a Shakespearean actor?
Yes. I thought I was going to be a classical actor for sure.
Uh-huh.
So much so that after theater school, I was like, what is the next thing I can do? And I went and auditioned for Juilliard 2 times. Completely, the word is bombed. That audition.
Now tell me, I've heard you say bombed.
Bombed.
But
Okay.
but why were you expecting to get big laughs, an Italian applause break with the lights going up?
Yeah, truly. No, it was one of those the second one. The first one was all right. The second one, first one in San Francisco, the second one in Chicago, and it's kind of like a full circle moment, and I'll get to that in a second. But you get into the room, and you prepare. You have your classical, your contemporary, whatever, your monologues, and then you start. And then I'm like starting, and then I hear from the judges' table just this sound.
Oh God, that has to hurt so much.
Looking back with being able to be more honest with yourself, do you think you weren't as good as you thought you were? Do you think that you were great and fuck Juilliard? Because I also didn't get into Juilliard, so I can relate with you there.
That's so funny. There's actually so many comedians I know who have auditioned for Juilliard.
Sure.
Yes.
I
No.
did the one in New York, and I think the worst part of it, the fire alarm went off in the middle of my audition, and I didn't know how to handle it cool. And then they did a thing in the beginning where they had all the people auditioning in New York. They were going to do like a warm-up exercise where we're all like walking in a circle, becoming different animals. And what's the nauseating part of it was like, if you do this as an exercise, fine, God be with you. But if you're doing it before an audition, everyone's trying to do an impressive job with their
Yes.
animal. And so it was just so intense. Everyone's so trying hard to be a lizard and like slithering across the ground thinking they're going to go, that's the guy.
Do you remember what
Good
you were?
actor.
I was that guy slithering.
Slithering.
I was like, I'll get on the floor.
Yeah.
I'll fucking bend over for you, motherfucker.
And you're trying to like dodge the other people.
Uh-huh.
Oh God.
What were your monologues? Do you remember?
Yeah, Bobby did Helena from A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Okay.
And then I did a Lady Macbeth. And to answer your question, No, it was bad because I was 19 doing Lady Macbeth.
Sure.
And then everyone else is also doing Lady Macbeth. And then
If you went back now with all that you've learned and all that you know, do you think you could crush that audition?
No.
Really?
I mean, I could do what I do, but I don't think it's what they would want. I don't know.
German mom as Lady Macbeth?
What is the line? Do you remember the line?
Out damn spot?
No. That's
Is
isn't
that Macbeth?
Ophelia? That's Ophelia.
Oh my God. That's Ophelia?
Is it not? No, it is Lady Macbeth.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry. No, but I did the one where the Raven himself is horse. Yeah, the Raven himself is horse.
I think it would have.
Yeah, I kinda like that.
Midnight.
I don't think they would have gone. They would have gone. Huh?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
They would, no. They would have been like, oh. A full circle moment because the Chicago audition, I bombed it so hard that I really wanted to pick me up, and I got tickets to go see The Second City in Chicago, and I had never seen that before. And it was actually the night that I was like, oh my God, these people are gods, and I want to be like them.
Were you funny in college when you were getting that theater degree? Did you do the comedy roles? Did you know you had that in you?
Yes, I always enjoyed the comedic plays. And then at my school, we did this thing where we had like main stage shows, but then the crew after a run would do a spoof. So it was essentially like just for the students, a late night parody of the production.
Yeah.
And I would love those. And just so, it was like my favorite thing to do.
Sure.
And then we did like, student events where people like put on performances. I always brought comedic characters, like just
Sure.
for myself. And it was so enjoyable. But I never really clicked until I saw someone else do it professionally in front of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're international. Were you kind of like a class clown in all these like different schools? Like, was that
Yeah, when you
a
were
thing
growing
you
up.
ever like utilized on?
Well, the thing is that like at school, in like high school or middle school, I was very goody two shoes, and I was more class president. Like I was just fully
Were you class president?
Whoa.
What year?
grade 12,
Grade 12?
What country?
seniors, Vietnam.
Oh my God. Was there any rebellion? They said she's not from here. She's Italian.
Yeah. Did they try to run a like coup on you or something? I mean,
Yeah, like a model United Nations.
So
too.
you're 12. That's the same as our
Seniors.
yeah.
Yes.
And do you remember, like, why did you want to do it? Did you enjoy? Did you like to be bossy? You like to give orders?
Yes, of
Oh,
course. Yes, I was very bossy, and I was very like, come on, guys. The teacher, come on. It's like come on, guys.
were you
she's
the
talking.
kid that like reminded the teacher that there was homework?
I mean, yeah, because
Oh,
I
no.
always did my homework,
And they voted for you? Vietnam is different.
I know. Vietnam
get any-
International School is different.
Did you get any major legislation passed as your time in office?
Yeah.
My year, this is bad, but my year, the senior year that I was the last year of my high school. They allowed seniors to do a senior prank because it went so far over the line. They had to
Oh.
ban it.
What was it?
Just a bunch of stuff. Like it was a bunch of things. Some things were really funny that we had planned and I had made a spreadsheet for. And then some people went really rogue and like,
Wait, so the
trashed-
president planned the prank?
Yeah,
That
we
would
like
be like
organized it.
if like the president of the United States started a coup. What were the ones that went over the line?
The principal's office got absolutely trashed. Like they just trashed it.
What?
How bad are we talking here? We're breaking things and
But just like throwing things around and like throwing
That's
like
not a
I
prank.
think
That's
if-
an insurrection.
I know.
Yeah.
Well,
That
listen,
started an insurrection.
listen to this. Here's the one that I thought was really funny. The one that was really funny was we switched all the because it was like K to 12, my school. We switched all the elementary school chairs with we like switched people's chair, like high school big chairs, elementary school little chairs.
how far were they? Just buildings next to each other?
Yes. And we
Okay.
switched them all.
That's a great prank.
Thank you. Yes.
And then they're like, no, we got to tear the system down.
And now we got to destroy the Korean teacher's board. And yeah, so
So that wasn't on the spreadsheet.
that was
They were
not
just
on the
like,
spreadsheet.
Okay.
And so then a Facebook post was made by yours truly in the Facebook group being like, guys, we have to go and apologize. Like it's a whole thing.
Because the chair one, that's what I was thinking. I forget the ones that they did at my school. Like they brought all the chairs out to the field, and it's like, well, it's funny. Ha, 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 ha. There was something with like bouncy balls, and they threw them everywhere. But you can't just trash a place.
I know.
Yeah.
And do you remember how did the teacher come to you and go, "What the fuck? What the fuck?"
What were
Laura?
the repercussions?
Laura, you've been so good. You reminded me of the 3 pop quizzes yesterday. What the fuck happened to my office?
No, it was not directed to me because it was the whole class. It was more an scathing email was sent to the whole class.
And how did you make it up? Did you?
We all went and apologized. Some people didn't go, but most of us did. Yeah.
The real patriots didn't apologize.
Yeah, that's right.
We're making a stand.
You're right. And then Senior Prank was banned.
So that was your presidency?
That's
the legacy
my legacy that I left. Yes. Unfortunate.
Was there any particular transition of where you had to move that was more devastating than the rest in terms of leaving behind some friends, or were you just always alone and ready to go? Did your mom sit you down and say, "Hey, sweetheart, we're moving again"? Did you cry?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Especially as I got a little older through late middle school and high school, leaving the last place got harder and harder because you just get closer to your friends or whatever. But yeah, it was always really hard to move, and it always took like 3 months at least to settle in. Also because I would move like not always, but in the middle of a school year. So then
that's
like
brutal.
a January. And so then everyone is
into a different country. So there's no way like the curriculum's like lining up.
Well, the international school is a little different in that way because we went to international school. The curriculums are built for people to move in and out of.
Oh, is it
Yes.
like a school? Like what is this? What is the governing body keeping them all on the same page?
I believe it's called the International Baccalaureate.
Okay.
Is that what IB is?
That's IB.
Okay, so we had IB classes. Would that be like for that specific purpose, like international students?
So I think international schools are IB, and then schools that aren't international schools can have IB as like an added program.
Right.
But it's for international schools. It's if I'm wrong, cancel me.
Sure.
Are made so that because people are literally leaving and coming every year. And so you kind of want the curriculum to be somewhat similar.
So were there other kids in your grades who were living a similar life to you?
Yes.
So that's nice.
It is. People understood.
Were you ever able to stay in touch with an old friend, or did it start and it was like, oh, we're going to stay friends and then peter out?
Most, but my closest friends from high school, one's Danish and one's Swedish, and they live in Denmark and Sweden, and I am still in touch. We are very close.
Did you ever say to your mom, please, you go, leave me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I said, I will stay with my friend.
Well, okay, what country was that?
That was before leaving China to Vietnam. I had finally, China, middle school was the worst. Everyone has a bad time. I mean, did you both have bad times in middle school?
Oh, yeah. I thought you were going to say
yeah.
at your middle school in China.
Yeah,
and I was like,
yeah.
oh, I did mine in Maryland. Middle school was fine.
Yeah.
I was weird, but they let me do a musical in 7th grade and 8th grade, and I have a friend. It wasn't great.
Yeah.
What made it bad for you?
You know, when you, I think girls at maybe in the 7th grade can get really, I don't know what happens, but I got kicked out of my friend group. One day it was specifically told to me that I was not able to be there anymore.
Wait,
and,
okay. So how many friends are in this group?
It was like 4.
And did they all take you aside, or did one say, "Hey"?
Yeah,
How did they put it?
No, they just said, because I think it's one of those things where you're like, what are we doing today? Or like, what the status quo. And then I think it was one of them who said, yeah, we're not going to do that anymore.
Why? What did you do?
I think I was probably weird and annoying. I think I was a very annoying person, and also borrowed money to go buy snacks because my parents didn't let me have junk food. and I only had an allowance that I always used up in a day. And so I borrowed money from my friends to go buy junk food after school and then lie to my parents about having eaten Snickers bars. And so probably borrowed money and never gave it back.
Oh, no.
Which is a good reason to kick me out of a friend group.
Sure. Okay, so your parents didn't like you to have sweets.
No.
Because I always wonder, because I was given sweets as a kid, but like I have my own eating things, and I always wonder if I had a kid. I think because I was fed, especially at my single dad's house, like I was fed fucking garbage.
Right.
And I go like, part of me is like caring for a child is like, no, Snickers. This is poison. This fucking country, America. They. I don't know if Snickers come from America, but it's garbage. But is that what your parents? That's what was their thinking?
Yeah. No junk food, sugar, bad. So that it'd be like the one box of cookies that would get bought, then would get hidden because if I found it, I would eat the whole thing.
Sure. So it didn't work ultimately.
It didn't work, and I got an eting disorder. But I'm like all good now.
Hell yeah.
All
Hell yeah,
good.
we are.
That's the past is the past. Wow. That's so funny that you went into debt from Snickers so bad that your friends had to drop you from their group.
Yeah, that is. I don't think I've ever heard that.
I just like how it started with like, you know how girls can be in middle school where you owe them thousands of dollars and they get upset about it?
Hold on, you borrowed money you couldn't pay
Girls,
back.
what are you going to do?
You borrowed money you couldn't pay back.
Yeah.
You started an insurrection. You're like the Donald Trump of international students, of class
Don't
presidents.
say that.
This is dodgy resume.
Well, was there something exciting then about like when I went to high school, it was a different thing. My original school ended at 8th grade. So I feel like getting to move internationally, sometimes you could be like, okay,
Start anew.
I'm no longer a moocher, take all your money, eating Snickers girl. You get to reinvent yourself.
Yeah,
Did you
true.
ever, when you went to a new school, did you have that first moment of like, I'm going to be popular at this school?
Oh, I 100%. You start wearing like, I started wearing blue eyeliner like under my eyes, and that's it.
That's it.
No, but like, yeah, I entering high school, especially a new school, and it started. People were starting to drink and stuff, and I was like starting to wrap my head around that. And
where was this?
yeah.
I know we keep having to place it, but especially with drinking, I feel like drinking culture is so different around the world in high school.
So this was in Vietnam, and there were nobody got ID'd or anything. So we would be like 16, and we would go out to the bar and club, like for real.
No one's carding. No one's getting in trouble for
Not
this.
at all. Not at all. And
That'll-
we would
that'll
then
grow you
mingle.
fast.
Yeah. And then we would mingle with all the like Australian backpackers who were all like 26. Yeah,
Oh no!
Whoa.
I can imagine some problems emerging.
big issues.
What is the drinking age in Vietnam?
I don't know. I would guess 18, but they just didn't ID. Yeah.
So no one got in trouble at school for like drinking.
Well, no one would drink at school. We would just go out on the
Yeah,
weekends.
there'd be no need.
There'd be
I
no
mean, we
need to
drank at school because it was like, where else are you going to do it with your friends at school or home? We couldn't go to a bar.
You drank
Yeah.
at school?
Well, so not as a matter of course, certainly kids were getting stoned, but we were allowed to leave campus. And it was in DC, and we were like, in the 80s, my high school was known as the drug school, where like teachers would smoke a joint with their students. But like that faded. That faded.
What?
That faded. But then we would do our strike of the theater shows, and we would stay overnight and usually just not go to sleep. And it was just, what's the word? Bacchalian? Bacchus?
Oh, Bacchus.
Bacchalian? Bacchalian?
I get what you mean.
Yeah, it was
Dionysian.
Dionysian. It was people were getting drunk and getting high, and people were making out, and
This
it was
is so
it was
exciting.
thrilling. And then I was part of this one year where like someone pulled the fire alarm, and someone started an investigation, and suddenly all these theater kids who generally were pretty well behaved got in serious trouble. And looking back, I honestly, for me, I think my kind of the first kind of betrayal from the system was getting like getting in trouble somehow at a school where there were weed dealers, and I was like generally like I drank once or twice in my life, and somehow like getting in huge trouble and somehow getting fucked when like the drug dealer was fine. That was like it was just like it was
a
just
wake-up call
in a privileged white American boy's life. That was an early time where I was like, this system is broken, and good.
Yeah, we all got to learn it at some age.
Hey, I have friends who still haven't learned it. If you had kids, would you go, this is not a good way to raise a kid moving around? Or do you feel like I am, because I look at you and I go, you are a person of the world. I go to Timbuktu and Laura says, you gotta go to this breakfast place. It's amazing. What do you think?
I do send you a lot of food
I'm
recommendations.
very thankful.
I think that although it was in the moment sometimes, for a child hard, and I always wanted to be from one place. I was like, why can I not just be from this like one small town where all, just please. But I am so grateful for my upbringing. It taught me, adaptability. It made me who I am. And
Right.
I appreciate it. And plus I have made my own roots now here. So
Yeah.
that's funny though, because I wouldn't not raise a kid like that. But now that saying like, obviously I have roots here, maybe I would be in one place.
Sure.
Maybe. Yeah.
So your mom, what kind of work was it again?
She was a medical officer for the World Health Organization.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And your dad, what did he do?
He was a freelance medical equipment consultant.
And that's how they met, like through work.
Through work, yeah.
But your father also was in a comedy troupe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he went to theater school too.
Now in Italy,
Mm-hmm.
is theater school in Italy, is it more clowning?
Yes, it was very classic clown. Yeah.
Like what is classic? Because I don't know what classic Italian clown is.
Like commedia dell'arte.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like the masks, like Arlecchino.
The happy mask, or like the old man mask.
No, like the stock characters. Like, have you ever heard of like Capitano, Pulcinella, Arlecchino?
I did once. One summer camp, someone was a mask guy.
Right, and
Yeah.
so okay, they probably
There's always a mask
there's always
guy.
a mask guy.
He did one line, and this was in high school. I heard this line, and I still say it to my girlfriend, and she hates it when I do it. Where he goes, "Let me count the ways that I love you. 1, 2, 3," and so like every I remember it so well though. And he did it in a mask, and so whenever my girlfriend says, "Say something nice to me," I say, I'll tell you all the things I love about
You stole
let
his
me count
bit?
all
Say
the-
something
I
nice
stole
to
it.
me.
I didn't steal it. They all steal it. It's a tradition. It's different.
Right. Was he the kind of person who said you cannot put on your mask in front of the audience? You have to.
It sounds like something he would say.
Yeah, definitely. No, so sort of masks and like neutral mask and physical.
Are they in the house? Are they hanging anywhere? Is he got a box?
He gave me his neutral mask when I went to school.
He passed it down to you?
Yes, he did.
So the neutral mask it's just a guy.
It's just a very kind of creepy looking, just white mask with a normal nose.
Okay, can I tell you one thing about this mask guy? I've always wanted to. So this mask guy, he was cool. I was in high school, and he was interesting. So we had a class, and at some point he did a headstand in the class. Whatever. This was at a time where like acting and yoga seemed to really intersect. I got into yoga extremely early because at the time it was like, to be an actor, we're going to start every day with sun salutations. And I had never, I was out of shape. I wasn't athletic. And every morning we'd do sun salutations, and then we'd go faster and faster. And then we do one slow. And by the end, again, it's all out of breath, sexual. It's church of a different name. And we did this class, and he did a headstand for some reason. And he had a hole in his pants, like right at the ass.
Okay.
And all of us saw it, and no one said anything. And then we went about our day. And the next day he comes in, and he had authority. But this is back when a teacher could really shame you. And he said, "So, the class after you notified me that I had a hole by my ass. And I'm just curious why none of you would think to say anything to me." And I clearly remember because I felt shame about I didn't have the strength to say to a person, hey, you're doing a headstand. Your ass is out. And none of us said a word.
Wait, can I just clarify? Is this person your age?
No.
It's a teacher.
Oh, that was
It's
your
a teacher.
teacher?
Oh, well, shame on him.
Yeah.
Why?
Because how
Revealing himself to
to shame
children?
you? Yes, yes, in indecent exposure, and also to shame you children for not speaking up about his sloppy ass.
Also, check your fucking pants.
Yeah, check your
Nobody's in
pants
the back.
first of all, but check them before you put them on.
Bro, if you're a headstand guy.
Yeah, if you're a
you want to be Mr. Headstand guy, check your fucking pants.
Also, question: no underwear or underwear, but very brief.
It was
brief.
a discussion that we had because we felt like, was it over the underwear or did we see inside of him? We didn't know. It was right. It was right there.
Are you saying like, did you see like actual skin of ass or like
We
just a
debated
dark-
it. We said, was
Oh.
that his skin? Was that underwear? We're all talking about it. That's why the second he mentioned it the next day, we were like, oh my God.
I want to take this shame off your plate. This is not on you.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, this is not on you.
You can't reveal yourself to children and then make them feel bad.
Correct. What an ass.
My drama teacher one time though had a zipper down and did not have underwear, and then sat down and talked to us, and like no one knew what to say.
You saw cock and balls?
Yeah, I did not specifically. Had someone tell me about it. Was like, did you see? I'm not gonna say his name, but did you see like Mr. Jackson's blah blah blah? And I was like, what are you talking about? And it's like, yeah, the zipper was down, and it was just kind of
Let me count the ways that that's inappropriate.
one.
Two.
It's a good. Did your dad, but he wasn't doing that when you were born. It was all before.
It was in his early 30s.
Did he ever, like, when you were a baby or a little kid, did he put on a mask? Like,
Yeah, I mean, he showed me my first ever sketch troupe, Aldo, Giovanni, and Giacomo, are like a famous Italian sketch trio, and we would just watch it and just absolutely laugh. He showed me Mr. Bean, he showed me Charlie Chaplin, and they were very, they influenced me a lot. Yeah.
do you think your dad is talented? Can you tell?
Yes, I think my dad is a talented storyteller and very good at physicality. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Why did he stop? No money in it?
Well, yeah, and also at the time, I mean, he grew up very poor, and he needed to work. I mean, there was no other choice.
So your father, born in Italy, to a farmer, and was he a farmer too in his life?
I mean, he helped with the farm. They had a family farm, and he had to work on the farm. But I know that he was sent to like priest school. They wanted him to become a priest, but he got expelled,
For what?
Well,
being just
expelled in preschool?
priest
Oh,
school.
preschool.
Oh,
sorry. I was
you
like,
thought
whoa.
expelled from preschool.
I was like,
They're
your dad is a
really strict
badass.
over there.
Whoa. Okay, yeah.
that
this
is so funny.
lines up better now.
Priest school.
Sorry. I speak one language and I'm barely holding on.
You
So.
barely.
In Italy, I guess is like becoming a priest. Do they want people to become priests for like because we'll have a religious member of the family, or is it like it's a good living? They'll give you boarding and like it's career.
It's career, yeah. Every town has a priest, and you get to you live at the church grounds, and it's a respected career. And
But you get an income.
yes, you get an income from the state.
Does the Catholic Church go, hey, don't covet, give us that money? The state pays the priest or the Catholic Church? Is this Catholic Church associated?
Catholic Church associated, but the municipality also is involved. Can I just say that I don't want to lie or say anything wrong?
Sure.
So I'm just going to say,
Listen, if you think this is the worst thing that's been said on this podcast about the Catholic Church.
I bet it isn't. No.
So what did he get expelled for?
Being a bad kid. Just they were so strict, like they weren't allowed to like look around while eating. They had to like eat and focus. They would get physically abused
By the nuns?
Yes, the nuns. Yes.
With rulers.
Rulers. Yes,
My dad said he was hit with rulers by a nun.
I believe it.
Italian.
Did
Italian.
it mess him up?
Can I say that? I think like again, like sometimes I'm like, is he Italian or are there just similar things? His dad cheated a lot.
Right.
Italian. Is that true that Italians are like talk about Giorgia Meloni? Giorgia Meloni, the current prime minister, right?
Yes.
Of Italy. She had a boyfriend. They weren't married, but they broke up because he wanted to open the relationship up and he cheated. But they broke up. Is that true about Italy? Is it more loosey goosey?
Oh no! I mean, obviously, it's becoming generally more modern, but no, Italy is I would say as a whole incredibly reserved and conservative, and especially
Really?
family values. Yeah.
How did Giorgia Meloni get away with? I mean, I guess it's the same with America.
Yeah.
Where it's like the party of family values. It really is a wacky world.
It's kind of crazy out there.
Your dad, one thing, I don't know if it was in your character set, but is it about your dad with the airport? What was the thing where it was a competition about Italian dads?
Oh yes, I do the Italian Dad Olympics, and the sketch is that today's event is getting ready for the airport.
So is your dad neurotic or is this an Italian thing?
Both, I think, are true. Italians are neurotic people. And especially
Really?
in my family, yes. About traveling the airport, it is just like a huge thing. My aunt will put in separate plastic bags her different outfits for every single day and like
Kind of efficient, really.
plastic bags, like not like plastic bags, but
Yeah.
like, what do you say? Like,
Ziploc.
yes,
sealed
yes, that's it.
bags,
Yes, sealed.
yeah.
Yes.
Where does this come from? Because I when I hear neuroses, I think about my Jewish side.
Sure.
What is it, Italian neuroses? How would you describe the way that your father's he's just stressed all the time?
He's just angsty all the time, and like just never. He has a siesta. He has a nap every single day after lunch, but he's like running to the nap. He's like, I got to finish eating. I gotta go nap, and then he gets up and he's like, I gotta go do my next thing. So nothing is relaxed. Nothing is like with him, especially just like on a schedule, on to the next thing continuously. Yeah.
I've never heard about stressed out napping before.
I know.
I would do that. But I can't sleep. Okay. So real quick before we go on to our next segment, I just want to try to compare our fathers to see. So tell me some Italian. What are things about an Italian dad? And I want to see if my dad has these things. I want to give my dad a rating.
Okay. Okay. My Italian dad specifically loves soup and will make himself a pot of soup. However, he will put down 2 bowls and dole out 2 portions of soup so that the one bowl cools down while he's eating the first one so that he can immediately switch to immediately eat the second one.
All right. My dad, no. He's just. But the first bowl is hot. So clearly he's able to eat the hot soup.
It's fighting through the first bowl.
That's
a fight.
crazy. That's
Doing. Okay. My dad, he doesn't fly, so we lost the airport.
Oh, damn.
What ways are my dad are Italian? He likes to wear suits.
Slacks, yes. Never underdressed.
My dad does a weird thing where it's suits on top of like. Now, do Italians wear? You know what we call these?
Yeah.
We used to.
What are they now?
Now
Tanks?
they call rib tanks, but everyone, you get someone a couple drinks in them, they go wife beaters, what they call
Beaters.
I would never.
Do they wear them in Italy though?
Yes, they do wear them. But also they wear. My dad wears that version, but like with sleeves under everything, with like a t-shirt.
It's ribbed the whole way.
Yeah, like over here. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Does he
And
have a gold necklace?
No, he doesn't
No.
have a gold necklace.
Is that Italian?
I'd say it's more Southern Italian. I mean, the North is also very different from the South.
So he's North.
He's North.
Because my dad, he says we're Sicilian, but I
Yes.
truly don't know if that's a lie. And I don't think I ever will.
I mean, your last name is Southern.
It is?
Yeah.
So, okay. We were reached out by some person who says we're related. There was a pasta called Soresi pasta.
Oh.
But I
That's
literally
pretty
went to
Italian.
Italy after college, and my dad said, we have family there. I said, okay, I believe you. Because why would you lie about such a thing
Yeah.
to your son who's about to go there? And I swear to God, I think he Googled Soresi, Sicily, and there was some place called House of Soresi, and he was like, that must be where they live.
Oh no.
And so I get to Sicily, and I call my dad. And I'm like, so did we ever find out where they are? And he's like, no, I'm not sure where they are. And I'm like, well, I'm here in Sicily. But later on Instagram, someone reached out, and they sent me a picture. My great-grandfather, Luigi, who apparently was like a crooked boxing manager, was even portrayed in a movie.
Whoa. Runs in the family.
There's a couple pictures of him with none other than
House of Soresi.
Mussolini. And I said, uh-oh, how much more do I want to go? And there's like 20 pictures of him. And it looks very much like, not like him and Mussolini playing tennis. It's like whatever must have been you're rich enough to take a picture, whatever the, fundraiser dinner was for Mussolini.
Tougher, I think.
And I don't know enough about history to be like, everyone liked Mussolini at some point. I don't know enough about Mussolini.
We all mess up.
But like, is that the equivalent of if your great grandma had a picture with Adolf?
I think there's some level of like, you have to respect this person. So I wouldn't necessarily say that they were necessarily on the same side or agreed. Like, this is.
As a German, did you go back into your family history? Were you curious?
Yeah.
How did it feel? Did you feel like, oh, were they there? I don't even know if this is honestly, I was like, is it rude to ask a German, were your great grandparents part of the Nazi party?
I would say generally it's not something that people like to talk about.
Sure. I don't blame you.
Of course.
Sure.
Not a great conversation
But I also just
starter.
told you I have pictures of my great grandfather
You
with
did.
Mussolini, so we're on evil playing field.
We absolutely are. For my family specifically, my grandfather avoided the draft by moving to India.
That's nice.
I know.
You got to look at that. You
We
go,
go.
Hey.
Good
Hey,
job.
we got
Otherwise,
bailed
he absolutely would have had to.
Do you know?
enlist.
Do you know? Did he leave because he said this guy's no good, or was he really?
Yeah.
God, that must have been a fucking relief.
Yes.
I feel like for Germans, like if you're doing like DNA tests, that's just the only thing you're curious about. You get an envelope back, and one of them's red, and you go,
Oh no.
I was gonna put this in the trash. That's a relief.
Yeah.
Do Germans of your generation, of our generation, is that something they like look into, or they go, I don't want to fucking know. I don't want to fucking know.
I will say, I mean, I never went to school in Germany, but what I do know is that like the atrocities of that war are very much taught in school. Like, people grow up understanding and being taught what happened.
Yeah.
And it's like an incredibly sensitive subject, but in a way that I think there is a great. I think people are being taught well about the history of the country.
Is it from the beginning? Is it like America? We start with like this really nice version, and I'm like, what age did they go, okay, we're gonna do, like, what age do you tell Germans, hey, just so you know, the metaphor for evil is often ascribed to this one particular moment, and it's our history. Is it out the gate? Is it from as the childhood?
I don't know really, but I assume. Yeah, I mean, I assume they start in school. Yeah.
Well, that's crazy. As I was saying it, I was like, is this like a thing you're not supposed to? But if someone said to me, like, were your great grandparents, did they own slaves? I'd be like, no, they went to India before the slaves got there. Let's go on to our next segment. This has got to stop.
This has got to stop.
Hell yeah.
Hey, there we go.
Hey, look at that.
We're back.
This has got to stop. Do you have something that needs to stop?
I made a list.
Fantastic.
What do I start with? Let me see. I opened my calculator. Sorry.
Let me count the ways.
1, 2, 3. Okay. This has got to stop. People who insist they don't have to hold the handrail or bar like on public transport.
Sure.
You're just falling over. You're just correcting yourself every second step and then grabbing me. And then I'm then also going to fall over. Do you have a friend like this?
I'm sometimes that guy.
You're sometimes that
I'm
guy?
sometimes that guy.
You're like,
too.
you
I
think
go,
your core
"What's
strength is so strong that you can withhold the lurching of a subway car?
I always go like, okay, wide, keep it low.
He does CrossFit. Come on.
And sometimes I got it, but you're right. When it doesn't go wrong, you're affecting everyone around you.
You could really hurt somebody. This could be really bad. And you always think you always think that you're gonna grab the bar, but one day you won't. And call me and let me know how
How
that
many
goes.
times that happened? Who's fallen over?
They grabbing you? You've been grabbed recently? You go, Jesus.
Well, just like my friends, you know, they're like they won't hold the thing, and then all of a sudden we're like doing this, and then they're doing.
My girlfriend will sometimes get up from the chair, and she's love my girlfriend, not the most graceful person in the world. And sometimes she will start getting up like right as the train's doing that thing, and I go, what? Why right then? The worst time for you to be halfway between up and down.
Yeah.
So I get that. You got another one?
I do.
Tell us.
Okay, this has got to stop. Using mason jars as Tupperware.
What?
This one's a
Whoa.
This one's a real cultural because I love a good mason jar.
Okay, but are you putting like a full 7 ingredient salad in a mason jar and absolutely stuffing it and then pretending like you're going to put dressing in there and it's going to touch every single leaf? And how are you
yes.
getting the fork in the little thing and then getting the leaves out?
You are yes, 100%. If you're gonna do it, you gotta pre-mix it before.
Okay.
Because we have those. There's like, you know, the food in America is so shitty, but there's one company that gives you like a mason jar of a salad, and the chicken's at the bottom. And in order to get the chicken, you're going deep. You're spilling lettuce everywhere. I agree with that.
Come on.
The chicken's a treat at the bottom.
But it's
Wait,
so
you start with
dry.
all lettuce
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
you get the
all
whole
lettuce,
chicken at the
babe,
end?
yeah.
And also, God forbid, you have 2 mason jars in your canvas tote, and they're like, clink, 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 like, it makes me irate.
I'm holding the bag of mason jars while I'm not holding onto the bar.
Oh
And
my
that's
God,
the
I
really
hate
clinking.
you. I hate you.
Do you have any more on your list?
I do, but you go.
Do you have one?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
What's your this got to stop?
I don't like golden doodles.
What kind of noodles?
I'm done with golden doodles.
Golden
doodles.
Is that a dog?
You don't know what a golden doodle is? New York hasn't been infected by this?
Every YouTuber family has a golden doodle.
People can't just have the dog. It like becomes this like cult following of the like my parents. Which if you have eyes, so of course my parents have a golden doodle. You
How
can
dare
see
you
that.
assume?
And like this dog has gentrified my dad. Like my dad like sold cars and like drugs in the 80s, and he gets this dog, and now this is what will happen. He gets like drunk and he'll be like lecturing me on like how men are like getting soft in America. But he's doing all of this while wearing a shirt that says Golden Doodle Dad.
Oh my God.
And has ruined him. And they've committed, both of them, they're terrible. They've committed so hard to this dog. They have all the merch, they have the shirts.
merch.
They have mugs that say world's greatest Golden Doodle. They got a fucking painting done of her. Do you know how much you have to love something to commission a portrait?
I mean, that's a cute
Yeah.
dog. I
No.
get it.
No, it's not.
I have
It's-
one picture like in a corner somewhere of a basketball game I lost. This dog has a portrait, a painted.
You have a picture in some corner of a basketball game you lost?
Yes.
As in,
Yeah,
that's
what
what
is
you're.
that?
What do you mean?
From like
It
playing
was like
basketball.
the least that they lost by the whole season.
yeah. It was a big
They said
moment.
we need to
I wasn't
commemorate
really
this.
great.
So you're saying that that's all you have from your
No,
parents,
there's
but
other
then
photos.
like
I'm definitely exaggerating for some comedic effect, but
Right,
I don't
that's
have,
what we
I'll
do.
tell you what I don't have is a fucking portrait.
Right.
Which I wouldn't want one.
Of
but, like,
course.
also, the dog shouldn't have one either.
no, you're right. You're right. Also,
And
they
every golden noodle person acts. They're like,
and they're like, this dog is hypoallergenic, and it's not. Apparently, that's fake. Apparently, dogs cannot be hypoallergenic.
Say it in French.
Yeah. say it in French.
Hypoallergenic.
Sure, that sounds right to me. Okay, my this got to stop. It's gonna be a little past when this comes out, but it's still part of what's going on right now. Is I don't know if you saw Joker 2. I guess it's a musical. You know the movie Joker?
Oh yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
a joke or two. I thought you said.
Oh, Joker 2.
Yeah.
I got a Joker 2 about it. But Joker 2, there was like this weird thing where they were insisting it wasn't a musical, even though it sounds like they sing in it, and the songs come out of the scenes not being enough to capture their emotions, a musical. And apparently this has been a thing. There's some other movie coming out, I think a Marvel movie about the witch, Purple Witch. I don't give a shit.
What do you think of me?
But they said like, it's not a musical. There's just songs that kind of, and I go, guys, we can only do this for so long. We either need a new word for musicals, but as a musical lover, my hope is that we are getting back to it being okay to like musicals. We need there's a corniness that's obviously associated with musical theater that needs to be shed somehow, and we need to reintroduce this into the public consciousness in a way that, for example, as it was back in the day, a musical theater song could be a hit radio song. Barbra Streisand used to be on the radio singing Funny Girl, singing Don't Rain on My Parade from Funny Girl. They used to make disco versions of a Stephen Sondheim song that Liza Minnelli sang, and they played it in the clubs. We got to get back there.
Did they do that with Hamilton?
They tried.
Right.
It did not. It definitely, with all the things that blew up from Hamilton, believe me, I was the first to listen to the Sia remix with Ludacris on it.
Whoa.
It was, yeah. It's tough, but that's the problem. Hamilton was too corny. With Lin-Manuel, and listen, I think he's very talented, but he's just not the one. He's not going to make that leap.
Right.
He's not making that leap. I think where the leap has to be made is on the other end. Joker 2, the Marvel fucking movie. And you got to call it a musical. And I think we all need to tell people, oh, did you see the musical? Oh, you saw Joker. Don't call it Joker 2. Call it Joker the musical with an exclamation point. Joker the musical, like Hello Dolly. Really force people to confront what it is they're enjoying. So we can open this back up again.
They didn't do that with Mean Girls that came out too.
Yeah.
They hid the musical part of that.
Which is crazy.
That was
Not
a
everyone loves a
bold
musical.
choice.
You know what's not going to get people in a musical theater? Tricking them in a musical theater. No.
Yes.
And listen, I know it's tough. I'm still trying to get my girlfriend in musical theater, and it's not easy. But you find it. You find the thing that clicks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's going to make it to radio, though. That's just tough. I feel like that era... Like what do you want? Like the Skrillex remix of like I Dream a Dream? Like how do we connect these dots?
You start with Lady Gaga, and Lady Gaga, she sings some songs that are kind of new songs of hers, but then one's just a little bit more of a story. And then before you know it, people are on the radio and you go, hey, do you notice that the singer of that song has an objective? And that they want something? And that they grow at the end of the song?
Goals.
That's a musical. That's a musical. Let's go into our final segment.
Your blessing.
That was the end of You Better Count Your Blessings. Beautiful. Promise me you'll keep it in there. Keep all the tech in there. I love it.
Honestly, I have a job for you at JFL.
This has been a great studio. Real quick, an extra shout out to Toronto Podcast Studios. Please keep all our beautiful tech in. It's my favorite part of the show. Check this out if you're a comedian visiting Toronto.
Toronto.
Is that Toronto Podcast Studios? What's the website? TorontoPodcasts.ca.
God,
Check it
beautiful
out.
SEO.
Enjoy the patreon.com/downside. Now we say something we're thankful for. What's something specific that you're feeling good about?
I'm feeling so thankful for I'm on tour right now, and I did my show last night here in Toronto, had my big Toronto show, and I came up in comedy here. I started here, and last night was like probably one of the most special nights of my life because it was a full circle moment of doing my show in this like at the Danforth Music Hall, which is like this iconic. It's like I could only dream of having done that, and it feels like a really big moment for me. And I'm so grateful for all the people who support me and who came last night.
Very cool. Very cool. Do you ever see a show there before, like in your past?
I actually had never seen a show there before, but it is they do all sorts of music stuff there, and then
Damn.
stand up.
What a flex. First time there, you are the show. Good for you.
Yeah, there you go. But comedians have the thing where they're like, I dreamed of performing in Madison Square Garden. And I go, that's too big. It's too
Yeah.
big for it to be like good for stand-up. What's you like? I'll tell you the only dream that I have right now, and it's kind of stupid because I've just seen the outside, but I go Sydney Opera House.
Right.
That'd be cool.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Oh,
But that's
yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
Any other dream venues?
Massey Hall
Where's that?
here in Toronto as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like really old, right? It's like a century old.
It's old.
Yeah.
I don't know how old it is, but it's like really beautiful inside and
Yeah.
so like a really magical space.
Ty, what is your blessing?
I think my blessing, coming to Canada and Toronto for the first time, has revealed to me like how it's very progressive. Like I don't know much about Canada in general, and I'm like learning about this, and it makes me feel bad to go back because of like how far behind we are. Like we're still trying to figure
Which
weed
part's
out.
about progressive? Like, did you get an abortion yesterday, or like which aspects?
Late term?
The fact that you guys were already on euthanasia. I can't get over this.
Listen, America has euthanasia. They call it, they don't give you health care. It's just a more delayed form of euthanasia.
That is true. Or you give a 15-year-old an AR-15. That's all your options in America. That's it.
America really does have it covered.
Yeah, no. Oh my God. You guys, it's like crazy. Canada, it's like so put together and I get there's problems, but like it's always, and I've been to Europe and it was like the same kind of epiphany, but it's just crazy that you're like, you guys are right there. Like Buffalo.
Does
is
America
like,
have anything better? Because I travel and I feel the same way. I go, America's a fucking piece of shit. Is there anything about America that you go, well, guys, America has this?
I mean, everyone works in America, like in entertainment anyway.
But that's it.
Yeah, I mean, also Canada's so big and so vast that like you could go through the whole thing and not see anybody for miles. But I feel like America is more concentrated. I don't know if that's a positive.
Yeah, that's the
you're
compliment.
really like
It's really
digging
it's
deep.
really crowded there though.
Bottom of the barrel compliments on America here.
Let me just say this about Canada, though. I remember when I first was here in Toronto, I'm pretty sure my first time ever here, and I remember it was post-COVID, and there was a truck with their version of what a Confederate flag would be, but it was like a bunch of flags that said, fuck Trudeau, fuck the vaccine, and I just remember thinking, oh, thank God, it's also fucked up here too.
Finally, I'm
it's
home.
different. Maybe they were just anti-vaccine, but they were maybe they weren't racist, and that's nice as
Yeah.
opposed to us. It all seems to go together. But
they
that's
were
the weird.
racist.
That's the weird thing about politics in other countries. It's like so nice. Like I don't know if euthanasia is liberal per se, or
That's pretty liberal. That is a very open-minded idea to go like you should have control and ownership of your body to the point of deciding I'm just not. I don't want to really contribute to this anymore.
that was your blessing for this show is the ability to end your own life.
It wasn't okay.
No, that's fitting.
First it wasn't euthanasia, but it was just Canada in general.
Canada.
Sure.
Well, I'm so happy you feel that way. It is really nice here.
So
My blessing, because I want to come back and I want to get a free class. Sweat and Tonic. Have you been there?
I have not, but I know.
Oh my
I know.
God!
Is this
Sweat
part of
and
the
Tonic.
CrossFit thing?
No, this is a different studio.
I hope there's someone
listen,
there really ready
I'm not
to
giving
film
that
you.
studio anything more. They got a free shoot out of me. Oh, but when he did that, here's what else. When he did that, I'm frazzled. I'm like going crazy inside my head. I'm
Are
like,
you
what
saying?
happened? And if I try to put on headphones for music, then he asked me a question. I have to go put the bar back. What was that? I asked you if a weight got turned into a setup to a punchline, what color would it be? And I go, and I look at the weight that he was doing that swooping thing. One of the weights was almost falling off to the side, so I was doing it wobbly. He's a fucking trainer. He should have said, hey, buddy, this video that I'm taking, I noticed you're about to fucking injure yourself. God damn it. I was so mad. But Sweat and Tonic was glorious. Yoga with assigned mats, blocks that were numbered, so it was right by your mat. Free towels, free mats. A beautiful smoothie. I think you could get oysters. It was crazy.
What?
You don't understand America.
That doesn't
You go
sound
to a
good.
place in America, it's garbage. They charge you. They charge you
Yeah.
every step you take. They said you took 5 steps, that's $20 more. It's beautiful. And I really, and blessing, of course, Toronto, 11 shows. Incredible.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna come back here. The flight is so nothing.
Did you do Toronto City?
I don't even know.
What is that?
Like did you fly to the big international airport or did you fly to the city airport?
I think international.
Okay, next time, I don't know if you'll like this, but you'll have to fly out of Newark.
Newark.
Newark, yeah.
Yes, with Porter Airlines, and you fly from Newark to Toronto City, and you're downtown,
Okay.
Oh, God,
and it's
wish
an
we
hour
did
and a
that.
half.
All right. Newark isn't
I know.
the last choice,
I know.
but I'll check it out.
Please.
So, where can people find you?
People can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube under LAU_Ramoso or lauraramoso.com. And I'm on tour right now, North America, east to west. And if you're in Fort Lauderdale or Nashville, tell somebody that I'm coming.
I have family there. I will.
Please do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm so excited.
Ty, where can people find you?
Same thing. Just Ty Colgate on everything. TY Colgate, just like the toothpaste.
I really like that.
Excellent. And you know where to find me, guys. But join the Patreon, patreon.com/downside. Russell and I are now doing 2 bonus Patreon episodes every month. And we just released, we did release footage from our live tour and Toronto. Be on the lookout because I think I wrote all the reps this morning. I said I would really love to do a live downside here soon, and maybe some more one-nighters in places of Canada I've never been before. And let's just make this our home. But as sadly we do have to wrap it up because the venue is a couple of blocks away, and with Toronto traffic, it is going to take 3.5 motherfucking hours. This is the downside.
You're listening to The Downside
The Downside.
with Gianmarco Soresi.